Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be talking about DC motor construction and the second point is the superposition theorem. Talking about the construction of the DC motor, the it first parts is consist of a yoke which provides the magnetic field, which protects the magnetic field and magnetic strength. The second part is the magnetic poles. The magnetic poles it has four magnetic poles which is projected outward to for the two purposes. The first purpose is to provide the is to hold the winding, and the second one is the magnetic field as the due to the as it is projected outwards, it provides a uniform magnetic field to by the means of the pole shoe. The third point is the armature core. The armature core, it has a slot inside which current carrying conductors are placed. Uh, and the fourth point is the commutator. The commutator converts the AC current to DC current and DC current to AC current, vice versa. The fifth is the carbon brush, which is which is in the case of the DC motor, which collects the current, and in the AC current and in the DC generator made by sorry, my bad. There is a carbon brush to collect the current in case of the DC motor and give away the current in the case of the DC generator made up of the carbon. Talking about the working principle of the uh, DC motor is when the current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, it experiences the force. This is the Faraday's law. This is the Faraday's law. So, as the definition of the Faraday's law, which states that when a current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, the conductor experiences the force. Uh, so in this in this construction, we will be see that when the DC supply is supplied to the circuit, it through the it experiences a certain amount of force. The second point is, and according to the Faraday's law, the armature will rotate. The commutator converts the DC current to AC current because there will be no rotation through the DC current. The commutator converts and provides the unidirectional torque, and the DC generator and the commutator converts the AC current produced inside the DC. So to avoid the friction, there is the air gap, and because of the air gap, there is no friction. So there are a carbon brush which collects the current in the DC motor and give away the current in DC generator made up of the carbon, and it is made up of the carbon. So that's it for DC motor winding. And talking about the superposition theorem, the basic definition of the superposition theorem is the total current of the any part of the linear circuit is equal to the algebraic sum of the current produced by the each source separately. So, according to the definition, the total current of the any part of the linear circuit, the total current of the any part of the linear circuit is equal to the is is equal to the sum of the current produced by the each source. So talking about the diagram, if we consider the both the voltage sources, so it the total amount of voltage source from the first voltage source and the second voltage source is equal when if we consider the first voltage source as, so basically it has a three conditions. The three conditions are namely both V1 and V2 are acting simultaneously. So the V1 and V2 is acting simultaneously. It is the first condition, and if we follow the first condition, we will get the this following equation, that is I1, that is the for V1 and V2 both are acting simultaneously. I1 is equals to I1 dash plus I2 double dash, and the according to the second condition, the V1 is activated and V2 is deactivated. So if we consider V1 as activated and V2 is the deactivated, then we will be get the following equation as I2 is equals to I2 dash plus I2 double dash. Uh, and by considering the third equation, that is V1 is deactivated and V2 is activated. So V1 is deactivated and V1 is activated. So we will get the third equation, that is I3 dash is equal I3 is equals to I3 dash plus I3 double dash. So if we solve this following equation, we will get the final result of the superposition theorem, which tells us dash the I is equals to I1 dash I1 plus I2 plus I3. So basically, if we combine the three equation, the we will get the total current of the any part of the linear circuit is equal to the algebraic sum, and the current produced of the each source is separately.